Here we are, BMW X550e, beautiful car. Man, have we loved this. We did a 3-year lease. We are turning it in a little bit early, 2 years. Why are we turning it in? Well, we needed more space, the traditional family growth needs. But man, this car was great. Comparatively, 194 inches versus 204 roughly, 203 I think. I just wanted to put them side by side real quick before they go in. You can see the difference. And the grays I think is a cool comparison too. So you get the Brooklyn gray in the BMW, and then they call this ceramic silver for Kia. So interesting change. I'll go into the details later, but I wanted to kind of do a side by side and explain why the X5 is no longer. We custom built this one. This one was on the lot, almost exactly what we wanted. Wasn't the hybrid, which we preferred, but we're gonna try it out for a short lease, probably turn it in a little earlier and just see how we like it, because everything kind of worked out price-wise, discounts and all that jazz. Cavernous space. I'll go into the Kia later, but I just wanted to kind of do a quick review of this X550e. We loved it. We literally got 42 miles of electric range in this version, roughly every day. 483 horsepower combined with the electric motor and the gas. Love the upgraded 21-inch wheels, which didn't probably help the range too much, but awesome car. Needs a bit of a cleaning, but the ivory light interior, executive package, loaded up, adaptive radar cruise. If you've been researching the 50e, you know what it is, and I just kind of wanted to reiterate what a great car this has been. Great SUV, or SAV as BMW calls it. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Just a little drive on the way back to turning in my car on the way to work. The BMW X5 is going back after 2 years of a 3-year lease, and what a car it's been. Pretty incredible. I have the luxury of selling these vehicles, so I have a pretty good insight as to the new features and options. And it's been a great ride. In the last, like I alluded, the last year we went to the gas station one time. We turned this into an EV basically, and it was great. I'm in sport mode now, using up a little gas and saving the battery, so it'll be charged mostly when we get there. But happy to go over kind of any questions that anybody had, or has rather, on the X550e. Like I said, 2 years of ownership. 42 miles of all electric range is kind of what we got. See, I'm in sport mode here. I don't know how much is coming through here, but sport mode now. Put it back into hybrid, or there's electric mode, individual, and that means however we like suspension. The cooling conditions are set to be a little bit more eco, so they're not going to be as extreme. But I'm going to do battery hold. That saves the battery until you get to a certain point, and then you have battery. That's for larger cities that preclude any gas use, in like the city circle. London comes to mind. I'm sure there's some other cities widely known too. But battery hold's kind of cool. So it's saving the battery. You got about 37 miles range now because we've used it a little bit. So I'll do that. I'm actually going to put it in sport mode. You know what? I will do battery hold. Sport mode, I think, will use some of the electric power along with the gas. So battery hold will try to preserve that battery all the way, like I said. Adjustable air suspension, a lot of great features. I put it on low mode, low drive for cruising for more efficiency, but high is kind of nice if you're going over a rocky road or tailgating or in a field or things like that. Car's been great. We loaded this up pretty well because we wanted to kind of try it, and I like to show to my customers, hey, these are what the features are. And I'm sure we're going to get back into a BMW at some point. We switched, we just needed more space, and we're actually kind of looking to streamline the budget to put some things in some different areas. So BMW can be really affordable, but for what we need, we're going a little different direction for now. But like I said, we'll be back in the BMW brand, or Mercedes-Benz, which I sell. My parent company, our group, owns a Kia store, so this is kind of what exposed me to Kia to try it out. So we're going to give that a shot and do some reviews on that as well. Of course, I'm a devout Tesla owner as well since 2018. Anyway, a couple things that you might be seeing, if you can see through here, kind of like that virtual reality look. Kind of gives you that real picture of what the cameras are showing. And then if I engage through mode button here, the adaptive radar cruise, or driving assistance professional package. So it's kind of showing you what it's targeting. So it's kind of zooming in and saying, okay, I see that truck. Got the steering wheel green and the cruise control indicator green. 35 miles per hour is what I'm setting at. So I'll set it at 55. And there we go.
and it's not true hands-free. It's gonna want me to wiggle the steering wheel. Head-up display is also really good. The graphics are great. They show me that the steering wheel, they kind of simulate this. See the steering wheel yellow blinking if you can. It just wants me to put a little pressure on the wheel. Massage seats are kind of nice in this. We loaded it up, like I said, and it's cool. The features BMW has. Soft closed doors is another feature. Offhand, I'll tell you one thing, Kia offered in our price point that was much lower. This, as we spec'd it, was upper 80s. The Kia is around mid 50s. So the Lease is a few $100 or more less than the Kia. And again, no comparison for what the performance is. Obviously, BMW is a driver's car. Anybody, I think, who's watching understands that. I just thought it was kind of interesting to show, hey, here's how life goes. We started late, my wife and I, and so we've got a 5 and a 1-year-old as of the recording of this, and the back seat in the BMW legroom isn't the best with a car seat in there, so that's something we wanted, a little more space and some more luxury features that I'm going to show you about. But for what you get in this, if your kids are older and just need a booster, I think there's plenty of room there. I'll try to go like this so you can kind of see. I think there's plenty of room for a booster and kids. Car seats gets a little crowded. Like I said, I saw Mercedes too, and the GLE 350 or the 450, if you're comparing 6-cylinder engines, has a little bit more leg space. Just got the alert from BMW. So stop light rather, no car in front of me, it's not going to slow down and stop. I'm a little spoiled with the Tesla full self-driving supervised version. Yes, it's not perfect, but this would just have slowed down and stopped for the stoplight if needed, which is really nice. And then another tangent, level 3 autonomy, which Tesla is not, no one is, except from what I understand, Mercedes has 2 vehicles as of recently, excuse me, the EQS and the S-Class sedan that can do level 3 in 2 states, Nevada and California, up to 40 miles an hour. So you could truly, in traffic, stop and go traffic, read a book. Don't have to look up at the steering wheel. So that's pretty cool. That's level 3. So we're getting there. And then Tesla's doing stuff in Austin that I'm sure is getting a lot of coverage for sure. Will be getting based on when you're watching this video. So battery hold still on. Still have 38 miles of all-electric range like I started, which is kind of nice. For anybody considering getting a BMW X550e and you're teetering on an EV, based on how many miles you drive, that might be a great idea. We, like I said, we converted in our minds this into an electric vehicle. We just plugged it in at night and we had 42 or so miles of all electric range. If you get the 240, the quicker charging in your garage, an electrician can put in the box and cables needed typically for under $500 or so. Then it charges in about 3.5 hours from 0 to whatever your range is based on your driving style, 42 miles of range. So something really cool to consider. You don't have to give up the gas engine for trips if you don't even want to worry about charging, and still get a taste of that electric vehicle. From that perspective, I feel like the plug-in hybrids are a really great way to sort of tip your toes in the water of EV mode. My adaptive radar cruise turned off because I wasn't holding the wheel enough. I'm going to engage that again here for you too. But any questions that you have about really anything automotive specific to the X550 that I've had, I'll be doing, like I said, some videos on this Kia. One thing that stood out is the Kia has that digital mirror, so if kids are jumping around or throwing hula hoops or whatever your kids may do, we know the limit is endless in the back seat, then you're not seeing their heads when looking through who's behind you, which semi is coming up on your tail. You're seeing the actual feed from a camera that's outside of the back of the car. So that was kind of cool. Heated and ventilated seats in first and second row in the Kia. The BMW doesn't offer ventilated in the second row, at least as of now. Soft closed doors the BMW has as an option on the executive package. Kia does not have that. It does have the sliding doors, which are really nice for the sheer terror of your kids opening the door quicker than they should and bumping your other car or someone else's other car. So again, it's really kind of an evolution as every parent at some point goes through, probably younger than we did. We started really, really late, but it's been fun to kind of explore and experiment with these cars. We did the lease, and then we're trading it in out of the lease. So that's another maybe misnomer, is that, oh, if I'm in a lease, I gotta stay for 3 years, I can't trade it out. There's always an option to trade out to the store for the most part. Check with your manufacturer, but certainly for BMW, Mercedes, They'll just look at your trade value of the car, what the car's worth, and then you compare what your buyout is. You can always see what your buyout is on a lease. Not to get into too many tangents, but you can say, hey, what's my buyout? Well, it's going to be your remaining payments plus the residual, the amount you can agree to buy it for at the end. So you look at that amount, that's your total buyout price, and then you look at the trade value. And if the trade value is a little higher, you get some equity. If it's lower, which is typically common, you get no equity, and you could roll that negative sometimes into another lease. See how we do for stops. So sort of, this is, the car's stopping fine. Sometimes on a long straightaway, I like to make sure it's looking, again, this technology feels a little bit inferior than the Tesla, a lot inferior in some ways. I know BMW and Mercedes have the technology. Mercedes has proven it. They just haven't released that. Tesla lets us be the guinea pig, which I'm okay with. I've been doing it for many years, but I gotta always second guess and third guess these softwares for the driving assistance professional package. And again, Tesla is still supervised too, so nothing's perfect. I'm not trying to really compare from which is better, but I gotta say that the Tesla requires less of me than the BMW and Mercedes that they sell right now, sans the EQS and S-Class that I talked about. So anyway, I'm just kind of driving in and wanted you to kind of see some of these features. You can see the car's tracking. I don't know if you can really see that from there, but the car's tracking what's ahead, which is kind of nice. On the head-up display too, it's really a nice feature showing me kind of, hey, what's up, what cars are seeing. You can change your head-up display, my speed limit, what your speed is. That's really good. So, and comfort-wise, really good. We have the 21-inch wheels, as you might have seen, and I mentioned. Still, you get the air suspension in the plug-in hybrid. You can option it in the regular X5 non-plug-in hybrid, and it's nice. It's really nice. I like the lower and the raise. Slow down a little bit here. But I like it's comfortable. It's definitely smoother, softer. The plug-in hybrid's a little heavier, up to 800 pounds more with the battery than the regular X5, and I kind of like that stability. So we've done a few road trips on this, around 7 hours round trip or so. Nothing major, but very, very comfortable. Just a little bit more space needed in the rear. And, you know, getting in this to the Kia, a much bigger car, heavier car, of course, you definitely feel this is more mobile, this is more agile, this is, you're kind of scooped in, kind of like a fighter pilot in this. And it's nice, you're enclosed, and it's very, very sporty and fun. So the Kia will be very different. We're not going to be taking any corners in that, much thinner tires, a 19-inch wheel 21, but much, much narrow tires. So Kia's just more of a cruiser, but some luxury amenities that we really needed at this point, and space overall. So anyway, sorry to divert in a lot of tangents, but I did want to give you a perspective on the BMW X550e and how it might impact your life or help your life if you are considering it. Reach out with any questions, really anything automotive related, especially BMW and Mercedes, which we sell. We get a lot of trades on other brands here at Myrtle Beach Automotive, so I'm happy to go over those with you. And of course, I've had a Tesla since 2018, so I can touch on that too. But at any rate, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and any questions you have, paint related too. I was going to touch on the paint of those grays, ceramic silver versus Brooklyn gray. Really cool, kind of like that. Everybody calls it everything from paint primer to battleship gray to all that, but it's really cool. It's a great look. So at any rate, that should do it for me. Just pulled up to the BMW store, and hope that helps. Hope everybody's doing well, and take care, everybody. Have a great day.